The moment everything began to unravel was quiet, almost ordinary, yet heavy enough to stop the world. A wooden utility pole stood at the edge of a calm neighborhood street, and a freshly taped missing poster fluttered gently in the afternoon breeze. The face on the paper was young, smiling, and painfully innocent. Standing inches away from it was a woman who had conquered boardrooms, markets, and entire industries, but now her hands trembled as if she were holding her own heart. Across from her stood a small girl, thin, serious-eyed, carrying a truth far bigger than her age. What she revealed in that fragile moment would break a millionaire woman in a way no financial loss ever could. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us what truly matters, please like this video, comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from, it means more than you know. Her name was Celeste Rowan, a self-made millionaire known for her steel nerves and impossible standards. She had grown up with nothing, slept in her car during college, and clawed her way into a world that had never welcomed her. Success became her armor. Control became her survival. People admired her, feared her, and whispered about her ruthlessness, but no one knew the real reason she stood shaking in front of that pole. The missing child on the poster was her daughter, Isla. A daughter she had lost not just physically, but emotionally, years before the disappearance. Celeste had not always been absent by choice. She told herself she was building a future, securing comfort, ensuring safety. Late nights became routine, missed birthdays became inevitable, and unanswered calls became habits. When Isla was 8, Celeste sent her to live temporarily with a distant relative while she finalized a crucial merger. Temporary became permanent. Distance became silence. Then, one afternoon, the call came. Isla was gone. No note. No trace. Just emptiness where a child should have been. Months passed. Investigations stalled. Hope thinned. Celeste poured money into search teams, private investigators, and campaigns, but grief does not respond to wealth. It only waits. And on this quiet street, she had returned once again to tape up another poster herself, refusing to delegate what felt like the last remaining act of motherhood she could perform. That was when the girl appeared. Small, barefoot, her clothes worn thin, but her posture steady. She watched Celeste's hands press the edges of the paper flat, watched her eyes dart across the face as if memorizing it again. The girl did not interrupt. She simply looked. And then she spoke, not loudly, not dramatically, but with the certainty of someone who knows something true. Celeste felt the world tilt. She turned slowly, studying the child's face, searching for confusion, mischief, or cruelty. She found none. Only seriousness. Experience. A kind of sadness that children should never carry. Celeste tried to steady herself, telling her heart not to leap, not to hope. But hope is stubborn. It pushes through cracks you thought were sealed forever. The girl explained, in fragments and gestures, how she had seen the missing child before. Not on television. Not in newspapers. In real life. Somewhere ordinary. Somewhere forgotten by people who move too fast to notice small things. Celeste listened without interrupting, her breath shallow, her mind racing between disbelief and desperation. Every instinct told her to protect herself from disappointment, yet her body betrayed her. Tears welled. Her knees weakened. What broke Celeste was not the possibility that Isla might be alive. It was the realization that while she had been chasing success, her daughter may have been surviving kindness from strangers. People with nothing but time, warmth, and shared hardship. People Celeste had never noticed. The girl did not ask for money. She did not ask for praise. She only pointed, explained, and waited. In that silence, something inside Celeste collapsed completely. She knelt on the pavement, her hands pressed to her face, sobbing without restraint. Years of guilt poured out, every missed bedtime, every ignored message, every moment she had chosen power over presence. Celeste acted quickly after that. She followed the fragile trail the girl described. It led not to a grand reveal or instant reunion, but to a long, painful process of truth. Shelters. Records. Forgotten systems. And finally, confirmation. Isla was alive. Changed. Scarred. But alive. The reunion was not cinematic. It was awkward, quiet, and uncertain. Isla did not run into Celeste's arms. She stood guarded, cautious, her trust worn thin by time. Celeste understood then that finding her daughter was only the beginning. Love could not be bought back. It had to be rebuilt slowly, gently, honestly. Celeste stepped away from her empire. Not abandoned it, but reshaped it. She redirected resources toward family services, child protection programs, and shelters that caught the ones society dropped. She learned how to listen instead of command, how to wait instead of demand. Most importantly, she learned how to show up. The girl who had spoken up that day never asked for recognition, but Celeste made sure her life changed too. Education. Stability. A future no longer defined by survival alone. Not as charity, but as gratitude. Years later, that same utility pole stood quietly, its surface bare. No missing poster. No desperate hands. Just sunlight and time passing. Celeste often returned to that street, not out of pain, but remembrance. Of the moment everything shattered, and finally began to heal. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video so more people can feel its message. Your engagement helps stories of kindness travel further. And before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe one small voice can change a life? Because sometimes, it only takes one child, one sentence, and one moment of truth to save a soul that thought it was already lost.